So about a year ago, I first discovered this thing called dopamine detox, where you basically restrict yourself from all kinds of cheap dopamine activities for a specific amount of time, usually a day or a week, to bring your dopamine levels back to normal, reduce anxiety, become more focused, productive, and so on. The thing here is that I was always this kind of ADHD kid who couldn't focus on things he didn't enjoy and went insane with things that he loved, meaning that I used to have really crazy obsessions throughout my whole life. At the age of 9, I used to have this origami obsession. Then from 11 to probably 13, I used to have this crazy speed cubing addiction. It's where you basically train a lot and go around on different tournaments and solve Rubik's Cubes on time. And then from the age of 13 to 16, I used to have really that was the most insane kind of obsession in my life. And that was the obsession with video games, where I basically sacrificed 99% of other things that I did other than school. Obviously, I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't eating right, I wasn't sleeping too well, I didn't have that many good habits, and all I did was just basically play and practice. And I didn't just play for fun, I used to really try hard and try to make something off of it. All of which is to say that I really struggled and honestly really hated the idea of trying to focus and pay much attention to the things that I didn't enjoy. But obviously life isn't like that, and in March previous year I decided to take it seriously. So seriously that in the first couple of months after discovering this dopamine detox thing, I went all in, and at times even too far. And over the past year, I tried literally everything from taking cold showers and being on a carnivore diet to deleting social media and journaling every single day. Some habits are still around, some habits are removed due to not being necessary. But the main point here is that I wanted to get rid of my ADHD so bad that I was willing to do virtually anything except from probably taking medication. And the thing that I realized is that if I wanted to become focused, I had to get addicted to focus. So basically I had to find a new obsession, but this time with the right thing. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly everything I did and everything I do right now, so that you yourself can become so focused that at times it feels illegal. But just a quick heads up before we start, if you like this kind of content and you would like to hear more from me on a weekly basis, then you can go down to the description and sign up for my free email newsletter, where every single week I send out one email with my most thought through lessons, advices, and insights that I come up with throughout that week. You can also find a lot of tips and guides on fitness and productivity there. So I'm very confident in saying that you'll find it valuable, and if you don't, then you can just unsubscribe anytime. It's free anyways. So as I said, the one important thing about becoming focused, and if you want to become focused, you have to be addicted to it. Just like you have been or are addicted to bad habits and cheap dopamine activities. Because the obsession with anything is the key. You have to teach your brain to reward you for good activities and for breaking through mental walls of resistance, just like you taught it to reward you for bad habits. And you do it with the exact same method, which is repetition. But to know what to actually focus on and what to reward yourself for, you have to at first realize what is it that you have to avoid. It is really essential to understand the common killers and the friars of dopamine in this day and age, for the reason that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the video. And here are some examples of those things. Over-processed food, sugary beverage, softcore porn, which you see quite a lot on social media these days, news because they flood your brain like crazy, and another thing which a lot of people probably hate me for is degenerate music, because believe it or not, there's a lot of music which is really not good for your brain. Once again, these are just examples, and there's certainly not everything that is out there that you should avoid. There's a lot of things, a lot of distractions and cheap dopamine activities which we see every single day. And the problem here is that for many people, those things are just like everyday of courses. Like they do it every single day because it's their routine at this point. Like they wake up, they grab their phone, they're scrolling for an hour or so, watching, God forbid, some kind of bad video, then put on a YouTube video, go make a breakfast with some like cereal and sugary milk and all the rest of those things, which is just really not good. Like if anything, those are the destroyers of your health and longevity. It's not just about focus. And every single one of those things from the list requires a separate discussion. It's a whole other topic. But the main thing to take away here is that to become focused, you need to first stop being overwhelmed and distracted. And to do that, minimization or complete elimination of all of those things is required. There's no other way around it. At least some sacrifices are necessary. They have to be made. So now let's talk about the 4 levels of focus. And the reason why it's important to know is because for each of those levels, there's a separate system that can be applied. And by knowing on which of those levels you are, you'll actually be able to take the action steps and fit it to your specific needs. So the first and the worst level is the absence of focus. Second level is the okay focus. Then you have free focus, and 4 is extreme focus. To make it easier for you to understand on which one you are, you can picture this. Level 1 is like this complete ADHD person who can't sit and focus on reading for 5 minutes, can't sit and meditate for 1 minute, and who's fully addicted to all of the dopamine friars. Now level 2 is probably an average person. So someone who is kind of okay with focusing, but not for too long and not on something very challenging. So the vast majority of people are basically like that. Now the third level is someone who's really focused and can direct their focus to whatever they wish. You can think of this person as the best student in your class that can study for hours or at home, or someone who really, really loves to read. Level 4, the last one, is a person of a completely different level. You can think of entrepreneurs, business people, and productivity monsters, as I call them. So those people who can work as long as they want, basically. Whether it's 1 hour of focused work or 16 hours. Now, there are probably some levels in between those, but those are kind of the basics on which you can rely. And I think that the majority of people will probably find themselves within those 4 levels. Now, here's a part which is very, very tricky. When it comes to focus, it is essential to choose what to focus on. The things that we discussed earlier are not the only reasons of lack of concentration. Another huge thing is the amount of choices that we have to make every single day. Like, really try and think about it. How many choices do you think you're making every single day? That blew me away completely when I discovered this. 20, 50, 100. It is estimated that the average adult makes about 35,000 remotely conscious decisions each day. Researchers at Cornell University estimated that we make about 226.7 decisions each day on food alone. Once again, it blew me away completely when I found it. Like, this is just insane. So talking of deciding on what to focus, I really like this analogy with plane in pilot mode. So imagine being a pilot, like you set things up, right? You basically instruct the plane how to fly, because most planes are actually flying without pilots having to do much, like at the exact time of the flight, because they have set the autopilot beforehand. And that is the exact analogy that we can apply it with productivity and focus. If you wake up in the morning and you know exactly what to do, like you have this list in front of you, then you're just not going to be doing anything else unless you're like really, really deeply addicted to those cheap dopamine activities, such as short form content, like you cannot help yourself but to grab your phone and scroll. Then that next day, the only thing that you will have to do is to just execute. You won't have to think about your plan. You can basically be in this plane mode for the majority of your day. Like, you can also decide what you're going to eat for breakfast, for dinner, for lunch every single day, so that you don't have to make that choice every single day. That is, for example, the thing that many billionaires do. But with that said, here's how you can reset your brain in 24 hours. Go to bed before 9 p.m. and force yourself to fall asleep. Wake up with no alarm, take cold shower, fast, don't touch your phone before noon, don't go on social media at all, go to the gym with no headphones, read something impactful. Believe me when I say that if you manage to do that for 24 hours, the next day you will see the world in a completely different way. But now the question is, how do you sustain it? How do you make sure to actually not fall back into that trap of destruction and chaos? Well, that's when it gets a little bit more complex. You see, focus is a skill that you can learn. Many people believe that they are their thoughts, but they are not. They are they when they are being focused and present. So focus essentially means presence. Now, I won't get deep into this and, start quoting Eckhart Tolle or something, but you get the point. So here are the 7 steps that I took back in March 2024 and that you can take in order to become so focused that it feels illegal. It is quite similar to the list that we went over before, but this one is a bit more extreme. Eliminate all sugar and carbs from your diet. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day and work straight away. Take cold showers every morning, meditate every morning, plan out exactly what you're going to do the night before and do only that. Don't listen to any music besides instrumental and get off social media completely. So as I said, that's extreme, but that's the point of it. I lived exactly like that for about a month in spring last year, and I was so damn focused that I genuinely started to think that it wasn't okay. Now, obviously, this life is not sustainable for most people, including me. And even though I recommend everyone to try that at least once in their lives to see what their brains are actually capable of and how sharp they can be. But that being said, there's way more to life than just productivity. So here's a less extreme alternative to it and something that I do myself. Instead of having no carbs and sugars, I fast for a few hours in the morning. Now, I do take cold showers every day as I believe it to be the best healthy dopamine booster that's available. Instead of listening to no music or only instrumental, I only listen to music in the gym. And the last one, this is a huge one, I only use social media to post or to educate myself. So I haven't been scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube Reels for like 2 or 3 years at this point. And you can and probably should do the same if you really want to improve your ability to focus. And trust me when I say that if you manage to follow all of these, it is almost guaranteed that you will get to at least third level of focus in a matter of months. Now, it's important to see that I'm currently in a little bit of a different season in my life, and I obviously do eat some kind of carbs and sugars that I did not used to eat before, because now I'm focusing on fitness, meaning that I'm bulking, like I'm really trying to gain weight in a clean way. So as you can see, I'm really working to not have any acne, which is a big thing for me. And yeah, by the way, if you're also trying to bulk but also want to stay productive, you can check that template that I've created for people who want to bulk but want to avoid all the downsides to it. And also there I have put all of my productivity tools and supplements that I take in order to be A, focused, and B, be able to bulk and gain muscle mass. But yeah, as I said, even though I'm not that extreme, I still do the things that I described to you, and I do them every single day very, very consistently. So to give you some context, I literally have been taking cold showers for 330 plus days in a row. And this type of approach, I believe anyone on earth can sustain and have a really big gains when it comes to focusing ability. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope you found it valuable, and if so, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and also if you're someone who struggles with staying focused, and if that is the thing which is stopping you from achieving and working towards meaningful goals in your life, then you can fill out the questionnaire down below in the description. And if we're going to be a good fit for my coaching one-on-one program, then I'm going to reach out to you directly and we'll take it from there. Once again, thank you for watching and have an amazing day.